clubs, they have objections to automating these payment procedures, right? They feel their current payment process works well, which, it still makes us scratch our head as to why, because a check is clearly the most outdated form of payment out there. There can be many reasons as far as that it's putting a strain on maybe their resources right now, or they, preconceive that I don't have much, I don't foresee myself having much control over those vendor payment methods, or simply, right, could be they're in the height of their season, or they gravitate to what they know. So John, you're the one who made this decision to jump. How would you respond to their objections? And can you shed some light on, why, what it was that made you move forward with this from both Jonas and CSI's perspective?
Well, I mean, who doesn't want another revenue stream? It's like if I could get a 2% discount on my purchases just by setting up virtual cards or whatever, then it's a no-brainer. And I was a big skeptic in the beginning. I'm like, it's impossible. How's this going to work? Can't be true. It's not going to cost me anything. It's actually going to, bring money in. It's going to be a quick, seamless transition. No way. There's going to be hiccups along the way. You're crazy. You're lying to me. Whatever excuse I could come up with, I came up with, and I was proven to be wrong in just about every instance. It was, I sent over a report of my vendors. They came back and said, these vendors participate. We can switch them over right away. We'll contact all the other vendors that don't and see if they're interested. And I just sat back and waited till they said, okay, flip the switch tomorrow. You're, using virtual cards. So that's how, quick and easy it was. I wouldn't even be hesitant to do it in the middle of the season. We all want to do things, make changes like that when we're slow. But this was, so simple that I wouldn't even hesitate to do it during the season. Like I said, in this new world of having a hard time finding employees, and also just still a lot of places are working remotely. This is a remote process. And with a lot of clubs that, when you have to have a board member sign checks or something like that, this could alleviate the problem of having to not only get that person in the building, but also signing checks and getting them out the door. This way, you could email a report to your treasurer or whatever at his office. He looks over the report and checks off, the vendors that are okay, and asks you your questions on anything else. And you don't have to waste time trying to get that treasurer to sign checks. It's all done remotely, and it's like once he says once you get the okay, you just press a button and your vendor's getting paid. So that's another plus. Yeah. Where you don't have to actually wait to get your treasurer to come in and sign checks if you need that second signature on checks.
Mm-hmm. And for those that go ahead, Trevor. Yeah.
Sorry, I was just going to say, I think John really hit on one key thing there, and I know that this comes up a lot of the time when I'm talking to Jonas customers about this. There's a feeling that it's too good to be true, right? Because there's really no perceived downside to it. And there are a few challenges that people have, and a few hurdles that they want to know about. And obviously the relationships that they have with their vendors is one that's crucial. But I think that, one of the biggest benefits of this is that this is not an all or nothing solution, which I think people don't understand. They're not changing out their entire payables process unless they really want to. They can pick and choose which vendors actually get paid via this method. They can still cut checks if they'd like to. It's, they've got the flexibility to run their payables how they'd like. We do believe that this is the optimized way of doing it, but it's not an all or nothing. And I think that can sometimes be a scary prospect for clubs and for controllers and financial professionals to maybe get past.
Mike, with regards to accounts payable, if the goal is to automate all processes from payments to increase efficiency, reduce the costs we keep talking about, but also earn that new revenue, What are some reasons the club industry, in your opinion, still hasn't transitioned to that digital environment outside of maybe, it's just because it's what they've known for so long? Can you provide any insight there?
Yeah, Ryan, great question. So there could be, I really believe there's misconceptions in this industry in regards to automating payments. So many clubs feel that their existing processes work well, so why adopt that change? But when you really take the deep dive into the costs associated with redundant manual processes, and then there's errors along the way, check payments that go out that could be potential fraud risk, and then the time consuming reconciliation, it's clear that by automating, there's immediate impact of that cost added benefit. And knowing that their payments are then dispersed securely is optimal. And then at the end of the day, it gives you that new income stream. In regards to how and where to get started, there's many functions within the AP department, from invoicing to workflow approvals to payments. But by reaching out to CSI, we essentially do a discovery call, and we would reach out to, let's just say, John, and learn his business of how he's functioning day to day. By no means do we want to have him change the way he's doing business. We just want to adopt a more efficient processes to get payments out the door. So when we learn and provide that value of what we can do to help that process, what we'd like to do is, for an added benefit, is to run a vendor cost analysis, to look over payments over a 12-month period to determine what opportunity is there for each given club. Now, this program may not be for everyone, but when they look at the results of what they could potentially earn in rebate opportunity, it sort of makes them make an educated decision, so they know they feel comfortable with the decision they made.
Right. We certainly we try to look at the rebate as a cherry on top aspect at CSI. And I think, John, if I remember correctly, one of these times you're so kindly helping us out. I think that the main reason for you moving forward was because you truly did want, outside of the rebate, but it was you wanted these automation efficiencies, right? You wanted more time back in your day.
Right.
Yes.
I mean, I'm all about technology. You know, my family calls me, like a little techie geek guy, and the latest and greatest little toy, I have to have it. So yeah, using a machine to do work that I usually do, I'm all about that. So anything that was going to make my life easier and more automated and free me up to do other things, that I was all into that.
Yeah, and we certainly, we always like to say, we're not here to replace anyone. We still very much need everyone who's a part of the process. Today, we're simply just giving you these efficiencies to make you faster, or to give time back in your day, things of
Right.
that nature. So yeah, love to hear that.